We spend years waiting. We wait for an apology that never comes. We wait for our parents to finally see us, to validate our pain, or to give us the guidance we missed when we were younger. We hold on to this secret hope that one day they will wake up and become the parents we needed them to be. But here is the hard truth that we need to face together today. They cannot give you what they do not have. And waiting for them to change only keeps you trapped in the past, feeling small and helpless. But what if the person you are waiting for is actually you? Hi friends, welcome back to Mira's English Podcast. Today we are going to walk through one of the most profound journeys of self-growth. It is called Reparenting Yourself. This is not just about self-care or buying yourself treats. This is the deep psychological work of raising your inner child with the gentleness, discipline, and emotional safety you deserved but perhaps never got. If you have ever felt like a frightened child trapped in an adult body when you are stressed or triggered, this conversation is for you. Let's start by understanding what is really happening inside us. Have you ever found yourself overreacting to a very small situation? Maybe your partner forgets to text you back, and suddenly, you are not just annoyed. You are panicked. You feel abandoned. Your heart races and you feel like your entire world is collapsing. In psychology, we say that if your reaction is hysterical, it is usually historical. That means the intensity of your emotion does not match the present moment. It matches a memory from your past. That panic you feel is not the adult you, it is your inner child. It is the part of you that was once small and dependent, the part that learned that love was unstable or that mistakes were dangerous. When we grow up in environments where our emotional needs are not met, we don't just stop needing those things. We simply bury that need. We develop coping mechanisms to survive. Some of us become people pleasers. We learn that to be safe, we must make everyone else happy and ignore our own needs. Others become hyper-independent. We learn that asking for help is dangerous, so we do everything alone and never let anyone close enough to hurt us. These are not personality traits, they are survival strategies. They are the armor your inner child put on to survive in a house that felt emotionally unsafe. But here is the good news. You do not have to wear that armor forever. Reparenting is the process of telling that inner child that the war is over. It is the practice of becoming the wise, loving, and consistent parent to yourself that you never had. So how do we do this? How do we actually reparent ourselves in real life? It comes down to three main pillars. The first pillar is emotional regulation. This is the foundation of everything. Many of us grew up in homes where emotions were either ignored or punished. Maybe you were told to stop crying or that you were being too sensitive. Maybe when you were angry, you were sent to your room to deal with it alone. As a result, we never learned how to process our feelings. We only learned how to suppress them or how to explode. Reparenting starts with changing how you talk to yourself when you are emotional. Imagine a small child crying because they dropped their ice cream. A harsh parent might say that it is just ice cream and tell the child to stop crying immediately. That teaches the child that their sadness is wrong. A loving parent would say that they see the child as sad, that it is okay to cry, and that they are there to hold the child until the feeling passes. Now think about how you talk to yourself when you make a mistake or feel sad. Do you scold yourself? Do you say that you are being stupid or dramatic? That is the harsh parent living in your head. To reparent yourself, you must replace that voice. The next time you feel a wave of anxiety or sadness, try to pause. Instead of trying to fix it or push it away, just acknowledge it. You can say to yourself that you are feeling really scared right now, and that is okay. You can tell yourself that you are safe and that you are not alone because you have yourself. It sounds simple, but for someone who has never been validated, this is revolutionary. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to feel. You are breaking the cycle of abandonment by choosing not to abandon yourself when things get difficult. This leads us to the second pillar, which is self-discipline. Now, I know the word discipline can sound heavy. For many of us, discipline in childhood meant punishment. It meant following strict rules to avoid getting in trouble. But in the context of reparenting, discipline is actually a form of love. Think about it this way. If you let a child eat candy for dinner every night and stay up until 3 a.m. watching cartoons, the child might be happy in the moment. But the next day, they will feel sick, tired, and cranky. A loving parent sets boundaries not to control the child, but to protect the child's well-being. Reparenting yourself means setting those boundaries for you. It means going to bed early, not because you have to, but because you respect your body and you know you need rest. It means choosing to eat nourishing food because you want to have energy. It means putting your phone away to focus on your work because you care about your future. When we lack this kind of self-love, we often drift into self-sabotage. We procrastinate, we neglect our health, and then we beat ourselves up for being lazy. But the truth is, we are not lazy, we are just unregulated. We are waiting for someone else to come and tell us what to do. But in reparenting, you step up. You become the gentle guide who says that we are going to do this hard thing now, not because we are being punished, but because we deserve a good life. There is a very subtle but important distinction here. Discipline from a place of self-loathing feels like a cage. Discipline from a place of self-love feels like a structure. And just like a house needs a strong structure to be safe, your inner child needs a structure of healthy habits to feel secure. And this brings us to the third pillar of reparenting, which is joy and play. This is the part that most adults skip because we think it is frivolous or unproductive. We convince ourselves that adulthood is only about paying bills, working hard, and being responsible. But for the inner child, play is not a luxury. Play is a sign of safety. If you grew up in a chaotic home, you probably did not play with total abandon. You might have been hypervigilant, always scanning the room to see if a parent was angry or if the mood was shifting. When a child is watching out for danger, they cannot get lost in a game. They cannot be silly or creative because their nervous system is too busy trying to survive. So as adults, when we try to relax, we often feel guilty. We sit down to watch a movie or do a hobby, and a voice in our head says that we should be doing something more useful. That is the trauma talking. That is the belief that you only exist to be useful, not to be happy. To reparent yourself, you must intentionally schedule time for joy that has no purpose other than the feeling of delight. You have to look at that inner child and say that it is safe to look away from the door now. You do not have to stand guard anymore. I am the adult, and I am watching the door, so you can just play. This might look like buying yourself the art supplies you wanted as a kid but were told were too expensive. It might look like dancing in your kitchen or reading a fantasy novel. It is about reclaiming the innocence that was taken from you. When you allow yourself to experience joy without guilt, you are healing the part of you that believed you were a burden. Now, let's move from theory to practice. One of the most common questions I get is about the actual words we should use. People ask me what they should actually say to themselves when they are spiraling. This is important because most of us have a very harsh inner critic, but we do not have a script for an inner nurturer. So, I want to give you some specific scripts you can use. You might want to write these down, or just close your eyes and listen to how they land in your body. The first scenario is when you are feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Maybe you have a big presentation, or you have to make a difficult phone call. Your inner child feels like they are being thrown to the wolves. The old voice might say to stop being a baby and just get it over with. Instead, try saying this: I see that you are really scared right now. That makes sense because this feels big. But I want you to know that I am the adult here. I am going to handle the presentation. I am going to handle the phone call. You do not have to do the heavy lifting. I've got this, and I've got you. Do you feel the difference? You are not dismissing the fear, you are validating it, but you are also stepping up to lead. You are separating the capable adult self from the frightened child self. The second scenario is when you make a mistake. Maybe you forgot a deadline or said something awkward at a party. The shame spiral usually hits instantly. The old voice screams that you are an idiot and that everyone hates you. Here is the reparenting script. It is okay. We made a mistake. That is what humans do. We are not bad, we just messed up. Let's take a breath, and then we will figure out how to fix this together. I am not going anywhere. Notice the language I am using here. I am using the word we. This creates a sense of internal partnership. It reminds you that you are not fighting against yourself. You are on the same team. The third scenario is when you are feeling lonely or neglected. Maybe you are single and feeling unlovable, or your friends are busy. The inner child feels abandoned. The script for this is very tender. I know you feel alone right now. I know you wish someone was here to hold you, but I am here. I am going to make us a nice dinner. I am going to run us a warm bath. I am going to treat you with the love we are waiting for. You are precious to me. Saying these things to yourself might feel strange at first. It might even feel fake. That is normal. You are speaking a new language. But the more you say it, the more your nervous system begins to believe it. However, as we start doing this work, we inevitably run into a massive emotional roadblock. This is the hardest part of reparenting, and we need to talk about it honestly. To truly become your own parent, you have to grieve the parents you didn't have. This is a profound loss. Many of us hold on to a fantasy that if we just achieve enough, or explain ourselves clearly enough, or become perfect enough, our parents will finally wake up. We hope they will suddenly become the emotionally available, wise, and nurturing people we crave. We keep going back to the empty well, lowering our bucket, and hoping that this time there will be water. And every time we pull up a bucket full of dust, it breaks our heart all over again. Reparenting requires us to accept a brutal truth. Your parents may never change. They may never understand you. They may never be able to give you the apology or the love you deserve. Accepting this does not mean you have to stop loving them. It does not necessarily mean you have to cut them out of your life, though sometimes that is necessary for safety. It means you stop expecting them to do a job they are incapable of doing. You have to fire them from the position of your emotional caretakers. As long as that job vacancy is open and you are waiting for them to fill it, you will not step into the role yourself. You will stay a child, waiting to be saved. The moment you accept that they cannot do it is the moment you realize that you must do it. This process involves real grief. You have to mourn the childhood you didn't get. You have to mourn the safety you missed. You have to let yourself cry for the little version of you who waited by the window for someone to come home, or who hid in the bedroom wishing to be invisible. Cry for that child. Let the anger comes up. Anger is often just sadness that has nowhere to go. Validate your own history. Say to yourself that it really was that bad, and it really did hurt, and it wasn't fair. But then, after the grief washes through you, something incredible happens. You feel lighter, because when you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you reclaim your power. You realize that while you didn't have a choice about your childhood, you have a choice about your adulthood. You realize that the love you have been begging for is actually inside you. It is in the way you make your coffee in the morning. It is in the way you speak to yourself when you are tired. It is in the way you set boundaries to protect your peace. You become the person you have been waiting for. This realization changes the entire dynamic of your life. You stop looking for a savior because you look in the mirror and realize that the savior has been there the whole time. But knowing this intellectually is different from feeling it emotionally. We can understand the concept of reparenting, but until we feel it in our bodies, nothing truly shifts. So I want to invite you to do a short visualization exercise with me right now. If you are driving or operating machinery, please just listen. But if you are in a safe place, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, letting your belly expand, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let your hands rest gently in your lap. I want you to bring to mind an image of yourself as a child. It could be you at 5 years old or 10 years old. Maybe you see yourself sitting in your childhood bedroom, or maybe you are hiding somewhere you used to go when you felt scared. Try to see that little face clearly. Notice what you are wearing. Notice the expression in your eyes. Now, imagine your current adult self walking into that room. You are not there to criticize. You are not there to rush. You are tall, strong, and incredibly kind. You are the version of yourself that this child has been waiting for. Walk over to that little child and kneel down so you are eye to eye. Look at them with total acceptance. And I want you to tell them the words they needed to hear back then. You can say to them that you are sorry you left them alone for so long. You can tell them that you are here now and you are never leaving again. Tell them that they are not bad, that they are not too much, and that their big feelings are safe with you. Imagine reaching out and pulling that child into a hug. Feel their little head resting on your shoulder. Feel their body relax as they realize they finally have a protector. In this embrace, there is no past and no future. There is only this moment of reconnection. You are integrating that lost part of yourself back into your heart. Stay in this hug for a moment. Feel the warmth spreading through your chest. This feeling right here, this warmth, this solidity, this is the feeling of being reparented. Take one more deep breath, breathing in that sense of safety, and as you exhale, slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. What you just did is not just imagination, it is neuroscience. You are rewiring your brain to associate your own presence with safety rather than abandonment. The more you do this, the less you will need external validation to feel okay. You become your own anchor in the storm. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with one final thought. Reparenting is not a destination. It is a daily practice. You will mess up. You will fall back into old patterns. You will speak harshly to yourself sometimes. That does not mean you have failed. It just means you are human. The goal is not perfection. The goal is repair. When you fall, you don't beat yourself up. You simply extend a hand to your inner child and say that we fell down, but we are going to get back up together. By doing this work, you are doing something heroic. You are breaking a cycle of trauma that may have run in your family for generations. You are saying that the pain stops here. You are ensuring that your future, or your children's future, will be built on love rather than fear. And that is the most noble work a human being can do. Thank you for being brave enough to have this conversation with me today. If this episode resonated with you, and if you felt a shift inside, I would love for you to subscribe to Mira's English Podcast. We are building a community here that values depth, healing, and the power of language to change our lives. And if you are ready to make a commitment to yourself, I invite you to leave a comment below. Just type the words, "I am my own safe place." Let that be your declaration to the universe and to your inner child. I read every single comment, and I am cheering for you on this journey. Take good care of yourself, and remember to be gentle with your heart today. I will see you in the next episode.